Massive news for the Ripple and XRP community as the SEC just came out and said the generic listing standards now apply to crypto ETFs. And this means that a shortcut has been unlocked for United States XRP spot ETF to be approved before the October 18th deadline. We're also going to show you some groundbreaking news in regards to SWIFT, as they are now tapping into blockchain products to provide a solution for on-demand liquidity. And the major speculation this weekend was that SWIFT had chosen a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum to create the future of finance. Well, this morning we are going to dispel those rumors with a SWIFT spokesperson coming forward and shutting down the idea that SWIFT is launching a stablecoin on Ethereum. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Good Evening Crypto, your favorite crypto news related channel. If you enjoy this content, smash that like button and subscribe, as you're going to get an update every single day, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And this is some of the breaking news from this morning, as the SEC has asked issuers of Litecoin, Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin, and XRP ETFs to withdraw their 19B-4 filings following the approval of the generic listing standards. Now, this would replace the need for those original filings, and Eleanor Terrett was told this could start happening as soon as this week. So what does this mean for XRP investors? This means that a shortcut has been unlocked for XRP ETF approvals. And how is that the case? Going forward, the SEC is only going to require crypto ETF issuers to meet the standard generic listing standards that have been implemented starting on September 18th. Now, what's exciting for the XRP community is we check every single one of these boxes that would be mandatory to get an XRP ETF approved inside the US. The only point of detail that our listeners should be aware of is that the official 240-day deadline that applies to these generic listing standards is October 21st, 2025 for the XRP community. Now, why is that important? Because we could end up in a situation on October 18th being a Saturday, which is when the grayscale approval is due. The 19th is a Sunday. The SEC doesn't work on Sunday. On October 20th, that Monday, the SEC could come out and delay the approval of XRP ETFs, calling massive volatility into the market and causing a lot of short-term traders to be scared. Now, the positive end of that is less than 24 hours later, XRP will complete every single generic listing standard necessary to get this product approved inside the United States. And we could then, just 24 hours later, see the SEC come out and approve a spot XRP ETF on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. If you guys agree with that, smash that like button. If you disagree, leave a comment underneath the video. But let's dive into some further detail, elaborating on the importance of this brand new amendment out of the SEC. So Eleanor Terrett commented, for more context for those seeking whether the withdrawal is a bad thing, the short answer is no. The long answer, when the SEC government approved the generic listing standards 2 weeks ago, it eliminated the need for exchanges to file these 19B-4 forms to list individual crypto ETFs. This would simplify the process and speed up the process towards approval. This move signals that new process is working as it was intended. As long as the tokens meet the existing criteria, the SEC can approve a crypto ETF at any time with just an S1 filing. So even though deadlines are looming for these individual ETFs, the SEC could technically make a decision at any time. And what does that mean? Any point between now and October 18th, the SEC could come out and approve the Litecoin, the Solana, the Cardano, the Dogecoin, and of course, the XRP ETF. But like I just highlighted, that October 21st deadline is going to be essential for the XRP community, because after that point, XRP checks every single box, the generic listing standards, and we should have a product approved inside the USA. So with all of these different altcoin ETF products set to go live in 2025, we are seeing some of the largest investors in the crypto space capitulate on the narrative that XRP is a centralized Ponzi scheme. And for a long time, it was the critics of the industry, the JP Morgans, the BlackRocks, the Elizabeth Warrens, and the Gary Genslers that were leading this charge against Ripple and the XRP community inside the United States. Well, this video from Mike Novogratz shows the great capitulation that has already happened for the XRP community. Once upon a time, this was an outcast project being sued by the United States government. Now, this is the closest working project to the US government, and there is no war on crypto that exists here in the USA. But with that being said, let's listen to Mike Novogratz talk about the major changes we've already witnessed for the XRP community. Here it is.
XRP has one of the strongest communities there is.
Yep.
And you want to learn about it, say something bad about them.
Yeah.
People will be out in front of your house with picket signs protesting you. We can look at how much use cases on the blockchain. It's not nearly as much as on Solana, right? Small. It doesn't matter for their value proposition right now. Their value proposition is the intensity of that community. And that's with the parent company selling tokens. Think about that. That's how strong their community is. I wish I had a community like that to fight for me. You know, I want the Galaxy shareholders to be as passionate as the XRP token holders. And I used to dismiss that. And then I realized, what the hell? That is half of what crypto is. Yeah. And it came from the fact that after 2008, people didn't trust governments. Look at the trust in government graph.
And we've seen this for several years, guys. The United States government has been leaning more and more into digital assets, but it's not just the US government. It's US citizens that are looking to a solution to the rapid inflation that we've been dealing with since the COVID-19 crisis. 45% of US dollars have been printed since the year 2020. That means if you were making $100,000, you need to be making $200,000 in 2025 to have the same spending power here inside the United States. And what I love about what Mike Novogratz had to say is that the XRP army is fully committed to the success of the XRP ledger, and he wishes more communities shared this same sentiment. But we're going to continue here, guys. If you're enjoying this content, smash that like button and be sure to stick around to the end of the episode, as we're going to be covering this groundbreaking news between Ripple, the XRP ledger, and Swift networks. But here's Mike Novogratz expanding on that relationship between the XRP ledger and the XRP community members.
Circles.
I think it's so interesting how we're starting to see more of, like you said, the crypto cult like coming into the equities world, and how you hope that people are, holding Galaxy, just like, people are holding XRP.
The resilience. I didn't think XRP would last after the lawsuits and all it did. And it's stronger. It's actually been the best token you could have bought post-election.
Yeah.
Like, who would have ever guessed that? The resilience of these communities. Because it's almost irrational. I'm an Oracle guy. I like Oracle when it's cheap. I don't like it when it's expensive. You've never heard an XRP army guy think XRP is expensive.
People think XRP is very cheap at $3 because if it gets the same price Bitcoin's at one day, imagine the upside that's there,
Well, guys, I've made this case time and time again that we don't have to reach $100,000 per coin for the XRP community to be correct. But a $3 XRP is extremely undervalued because that's how much this asset was trading for all the way back in 2018. That was before regulation. That was before the war on crypto. And that was absolutely before the pro-crypto administration that we have right now was in charge inside the United States. And my anticipation that this isn't just a 2025 phenomenon where we're seeing XRP adoption around the world. This is going to be the way it is for years to come. Throughout the entire Trump administration, we are just going to see more and more blockchain adoption and more adoption of Ripple products and the XRP ledger all around the world. If you guys agree, smash that like button. If you disagree, leave a comment underneath the video. But let's finish out these statements about the inevitable success of what Ripple has created in the XRP ledger.
Listen, Brad Garlinghouse has done a world-class job of navigating these lawsuits, of keeping that community. Like, I used to get angry about it because I was like, oh, it's not Bitcoin. It's not as decentralized. It's like, who am I to judge where people want to store their money? Right? If you were a Bitcoiner, you said, don't judge me if I want to store my money in this community. Mm-hmm. We have the Bitcoin white paper on our frickin' ceiling in Star Wars, like, dun, 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 dun. So it looks like the Star Wars, the beginning in a galaxy long, and it's the Bitcoin white paper. Like, that is the constitution of the Bitcoin community.
Yeah.
And when people thought I was crazy, I was like, who the fuck are you to judge where I want to save my money? But the same holds true for XRP or Cardano. If people want to store their money in that community, go for it. Oh, like the arrogance, and I was arrogant. The arrogance of thinking my community is good, but your community sucks. It's just stupid. Now, I can make technical arguments. We're more decentralized than you, and you've got, like, who cares?
No one cares.
The people, they each have their own constitution. Declaration of Independence. They each have their own culture. And what has surprised me is how many have remained vibrant.
Now, whether you agree with Mike Novogratz or you disagree with his fundamental analysis about the crypto market, one thing that we know for sure is that the XRP community stands alone by the investment from its investors. People are more invested in the outcome of the XRP ledger than any other project in the crypto space today. And although XRP may only be 1/10 of the market cap of Bitcoin, the community feels as if it's almost the exact same size. And that's just one of the many reasons I believe XRP will continue to dominate during the entire Trump administration. But we're going to get into our next groundbreaking update right now, as the breaking news for today is that SWIFT is working on a stablecoin and on-chain messaging using an Ethereum layer 2 called Linea. Now, what's so exciting about this for the XRP community is all the rumors are being put to rest. SWIFT is definitively working on blockchain products. And what we know right now is that they're tapping into ecosystems like Ethereum and like Chainlink in order to bring forth the digital era of finance. But it turns out a lot of the criticism that the XRP community was getting over the weekend for SWIFT choosing this new collaboration was fake news. And what do I mean by that? An advisor came out and said, we never wrote that SWIFT was going to launch a stablecoin on Linea, the Ethereum layer 2. We wrote that SWIFT is considering launching a stablecoin without mentioning any particular network. Please read more carefully before you start tweeting nonsense. And what I think is relevant about this is that Ethereum is never going to be selected as the new base layer for everything. It's too slow, it's too expensive, but I do believe that some of these layer 2s will be able to absorb some of the market share that Ripple and the XRP ledger are going after. And Brad Garlinghouse has gone as far to say that he believes the XRP ledger will be doing 14% of the daily volume of SWIFT. Well, SWIFT does $5 trillion a day. By the year 2030, if XRP is able to capture 14%, that would be $700 billion worth of daily volume transferring on the XRP ledger. Let's hear what Wendy O had to say about this brand new narrative, because it appears there's a lot of misconceptions going on about the new collaboration between SWIFT and the layer 2 Linea. Here's what's actually going on behind the scenes.
A settlement token with Ethereum layer 2 Linea. Goal is to integrate blockchain and traditional banking to improve settlement speed, cost, and transparency. Major banks involved include BNP Paribas and BNY Mellon. Project could rival Ripple, offering similar on-chain settlement features. Linea was chosen for ZK rollup tech, offering scalability, security, and privacy. The features are important for banks. The system will combine payment instructions, settlement in one on-chain transaction, and a stablecoin like interbank token is also being explored. SWIFT aims to reduce reliance on intermediaries, and they want to streamline global payments. SWIFT has conducted blockchain experiments in the past with Chainlink, because again, Chainlink is an Oracle project, and we utilize it to make sure price feeds and data feeds and all that stuff are accurate. And also Chainlink had a really big announcement yesterday that we talked about. Now, this story is not true. Not true in any way, shape, or form. It was actually reported incorrectly, and then crypto Twitter took a big hold onto it, and it just went absolutely bonkers. It was a little bit ridiculous. So this is what happened. There's a gentleman named Gregory. He went ahead and reported on it. He's a co-founder of The Big Whale, a journalist, etc. But he went ahead and posted underneath one of really big popular posts. We never wrote that SWIFT was going to launch a stablecoin on Linea. We wrote that SWIFT was considering launching a stablecoin without mentioning any particular network. Please read more carefully before posting nonsense. So basically it was debunked. What he did say in the article is that SWIFT is considering launching a stablecoin, but did not mention any particular network. And that's important to know, because these types of rumors and stuff like that, they can spread like wildfire. So we always try to clarify things that are happening. So SWIFT is not selecting Linea for their stablecoin. They're looking into it. They're looking into just different, how to go ahead and get a stablecoin, et cetera. So a lot of people are laughing. They're like, hey, why didn't SWIFT pick Ripple? Why isn't SWIFT using Ripple? That's what people wanted for a really long time. What's going on? So everybody's like fighting back for the internet, but this is actually debunked. So is it Ripple versus Linea? Or not necessarily.
And there you have it, guys. So dispelling many of those fake rumors is very important for the XRP community, because time and time again, we've come out and we have been attacked because many of the assumptions that we've been talking about. The idea that Ripple is building a base layer for everything, a level playing field for all assets, is still in full effect. And even if a project like SWIFT were to come out and begin utilizing Ethereum, Ripple is built for a competitive market, and I'm sure that they would welcome competitors who think that they can absorb the exact same market share that Ripple is going after. Do you believe SWIFT will end up leveraging Ripple and the XRP ledger? If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all in the next one.